Reflecting on the G20 summit, the US president has tweeted that after a significant deal on Syria, it's time to move forward and work with Russia. But he may even be facing opposition to that from his own aides and officials. The US ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, has claimed that, quote, everybody knows Russia meddled in the US presidential election, appearing to contradict Donald Trump's view that no one is sure.
I think it was Russia, but I think it was probably other people and/or countries, and I see nothing wrong with that statement. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows for sure.
Everybody knows that Russia meddled in our elections. Everybody knows that they're not just meddling in the United States elections. They're doing this across multiple continents, and they're doing this in a way that they're trying to cause chaos within the countries.
Well, following the G20 summit, Trump also tweeted that he and the Russian president discussed the creation of a special working group on cybersecurity. The idea, however, was roundly criticised on the basis of Russia's alleged hacking activities. Former US Defense Minister Ashton Carter even thought he could see an old Soviet ruse behind the leader's proposal.
You know, the Russians pulled out the old playbook. I've seen all this going back to Russian and Soviet days. When confronted with something they've done wrong, ask for U.S. intelligence. Old trick.
Well, let's bring in Ben Horace-Quinney, the founder of the Bow Group, a conservative think tank. Always welcome to the programme, Ben. I suppose the point on just listening to that, when will solid, incontrovertible evidence actually be provided to back up all the hacking allegations, or why indeed has it not been so far?
Well, I think as the President of the United States, Donald Trump, said, the truth is that no one knows, and that, or that at least very few people know, and very few people know because there has been no clear evidence on either side. What we do know, however, is the Trump administration is certainly concerned about the allegations that have been made, and it has caused some drag on the early days of the administration. But we also know that many of the accusations have been disproved, and major media networks like CNN and The Times have had their accusations proven to be false. So I think until there is clear evidence, it is very difficult for anyone to act or anyone to form an opinion. And the words of Nikki Haley that we heard there, I think everyone's very interested to learn what information that she has to back up those comments.
What are your thoughts then on that joint cybersecurity union being created, Ben? Would it be workable?
I think there may be some areas that cybersecurity in the US and Russia could hold partnership. Tackling ISIS would be the most obvious one. And my understanding is that regardless of any cybersecurity policy, there remains a strong commitment both on the US and the Russian side to work together to tackle ISIS. Other than that, I think it will be very difficult because of these rumours, I suppose you would call them, that continue to hang over the US election, and I think that would need to be clarified before there was any deeper partnership between Russia and the United States. But I could see areas where combating ISIS could prove relevant in the cybersecurity arena, and also, of course, combating terrorism in the West.
Just on the point you were making in your first answer, how difficult do you think it will be for Donald Trump to overcome the skepticism in Washington, and indeed for Russia to shed the hacking image that it seems to have labelled onto?
Well, I think sooner or later there will need to be some solid evidence for these hacking claims. If no evidence emerges, then I would imagine it would pass into history as an unsubstantiated claim. If, however, evidence does emerge, I highly doubt that evidence will show collusion between the Trump administration and the administration of Vladimir Putin. But nonetheless, if evidence emerges that Russia did interfere on some level in the US election, then I think that would be very significant for the future of relations between the two nations, and certainly would make intelligence cooperation very difficult.
Ben Norris-Quinney, founder of the conservative think tank, the Bow Group, thank you very much.